Hola! I decided on the spur of a moment to do a live today, and I'm actually waiting for somebody else to join me. And while we're waiting for Joyce to join me, I'm going to preface this whole live with where we began and what we were inspired by. So today is 4/20/24, which is a palindrome. So you can take that and flip it around and it's still going to say for 2024. It's also the 111th day of the year, 111. And if you're into numbers, 111 is about connecting to the divine. And our conversation took us on a journey of how do we manifest the life that we desire? Because we are always creating. Okay, so yes, I am aware that the whole thing about, and I don't know, can you hear me, Joyce?
I can, yeah.
Okay,
Hi.
okay, good.
It's
Because
really, I know that there's something here that makes it louder, but I'm not sure what. Oh, okay. Maybe that.
okay, I can hear you, but what were you saying? Because I didn't get all of it. You can hear me.
I didn't say anything. I was just trying to figure out how to make this louder because, sorry.
To use my other hand. Either way, I have a hand in the way.
Oh,
Okay,
now I
so
can't hear you.
you can't hear me at all?
No, let me get my earbuds.
Okay, so let's go back to what I was saying while we're waiting for Joyce. Okay, so we create the life we desire. So if you don't like the word manifestation because you're tired of hearing it, I get it. Because I will actually tune out people who start saying, do you want to know how to manifest the life that you desire? I just automatically go, boom, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to listen to what you have to say. You're going to say the same thing that everybody else says. But the thing is, we are manifesting all the time. And that's
Ah,
what Joyce and I were talking about. We were talking about how we are always manifesting from the place that we are currently in. So the mood we're in, the thoughts we're having, and anything that shows up in the external, whether it's relationship issues or money issues or a myriad of other things, your circumstances, quote unquote, that is coming from within you. And so I was saying to her, and this is kind of how it started, what am I doing? Like, what's happening within me that this is what I have created, right? Because nobody has the perfect life. And I can sit and look at my life and say, I'm really fortunate because, I have two beautiful children that have brought me the greatest joy and love I have ever experienced in my life. And nothing compares to that. I have a home, I have a car, I have food to eat. My parents are still alive, thank God. That's really great. I've got all of my sisters still and my brother. There's just all these things, right, that can go right or are going right in our lives. And yet, there's always one, two, three, maybe 10 things that we're like, but wait a minute, that's not what I wanted to create, right? I was saying, this was the conversation we were having. And then she reflected back to me what I had already been saying to myself, which was, Kelly, this is coming from within you. So what is it within you that has created this outer reality? And so we are literally always creating our own reality in every single moment. And you may have already heard somebody else say that if you are in, say, a negative space or a negative mood, that's the future you're creating for yourself. And I've been working at staying more positive. And Joyce is an eternal optimist. So Joyce can go there a lot more quickly than me, but I'm graced with the ability to be aware of when I'm not in that space and take the moment to try to shift it. So I don't want to take this grouchiness, this disappointment, this anger forward into the future. I want to create something different. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to experience this anymore. This is what I want to create. Excuse me. And it literally comes from this moment. If I can make this moment better, this moment, because it's always about the now moment, then somewhere in the future, it could be maybe just the next 5 minutes. It could be, tomorrow's a better day. It could be that it's a successive thing where it just keeps getting better and better and better and better until I'm finally, I'm riding the wave. And it's the same thing for you. What do you have to share, Joyce? I know you've got something to say because you always have wisdom.
And I always have something to say, and I am usually conscious of it, of not just like rambling on about something, because we can somewhat always do that, but it's like add some depth to and expand on what you're saying. And what was coming to mind lots of things were coming to mind. But you tell me about your yoga classes, and I ask you about your yoga classes. We talk about them so often, yeah. And I'm like, I want to be there. We used to live fairly close to each other, close enough, but now we're at opposite ends from the north and the south in the United States.
And
whoever's
the east
listening,
and the west,
and it's been to the east and the west, and so our paths have not crossed again. And I'm waiting for. Well, okay. So going back to your yoga classes. These your yoga classes, and I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a 500 level yoga teacher, plus, all the other things that I know and have learned.
Yes.
Which I completely understand where you're coming from. And you just blow me out of the water with not just, how much any of it. It's like the inquiries, they're not in the head inquiries, but in the body and the soul, in the spirit inquiries that you take your class, the students in your class to, that people like are starved for. It's like, we want to get out of our heads. We want to get out of the chatter, the busyness, the swirly thoughts, right? The consuming, what if and how, and, but like all this other stuff. Well, I don't want that anymore. Well, I don't know what the problem is, right? I don't know. I just know I don't want it anymore. And whether you're coaching your clients or leading your students in your yoga class to this different place within each of us that's there, but there's like this shadow, this fog over us that we can't see with our eyes. And it's just like, I can't find my way through life, right? And it helps us open, because you help me open my eyes all the time. And I'm not talking about like I got my eyes closed. It's like my inner eyes that see the world in the way that I see it. It's my perception of the world that is tainted. And there's all of these filters in front. Like, it's like I'm seeing the world through maybe this whatever portion I can see through, that it's my version of it. And so you help us see our lives, possibilities, what's really there, not the reality of what's there, because the reality of what's there is what we perceive it to be. And again, that's in the relationships, everything, what we can have, can't have, who we can be or not be. It's not who I am. It's like, who do I have to be in this job in order to keep my job, in order to get a raise, in order to be seen as whatever? Who do I need to be in this relationship to feel loved, accepted, worthy, valued, that you matter? Who do I need to be as a mother to my children, that they'll like put me on a pedestal and they'll think I'm just like, I know everything in the world, and they'll tell me everything in the world. it's like we're so busy, consumed unconsciously most of the time with who do I need to be? And we're showing up like that. And so in your classes, that can start to like sort of fall away even just a little bit, so that it's almost like, you know, here's the wall, and then the wall goes down and we can kind of peek over a little bit to see, or open the blinds, you know, open the blinds just a little bit to see a crack into something new, something that's possible, a little glimmer of ourselves that's like, wow, like maybe I can say that, maybe I can feel this way, maybe I can express my thoughts, not opinions, my thoughts on something, and actually have somebody, oh, be interested, and like, okay, I might not agree, but okay, well, that's interesting, rather than slap, no, you can't have that opinion. You know, it's like, so this, it's like I give myself permission to look at this little part of myself that is really true. And from that, oh, I can't hear you now. Oh, you're on mute. I see, you're on mute. And from that place, be a new way. Yeah, I see that you're, I don't know if I can unmute you. No, I can't unmute you. I just see that you're muted. Because it was just, I did this meditation this morning, a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, and there was this one part in it that really, really stuck out for me. And you're still muted. And it was like, overcome, fill in the blank.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Overcome blank to become blank. So it's like, what do I need? What do I need? What do I have to? It's like, what is there
Right.
to overcome the patterns, the behaviors, the belief, like whatever it is,
Yep.
in order to become ourselves.
Right.
This new version of ourselves. So yeah, when we were talking earlier this morning, and you were talking about this very significant day in time, you know, 4/20
2024.
2024.
4/20,
And it's
2024.
and it's the 111th day of the year. And you said it's about manifesting, and it's like, yes, I've been like, you know, for a while, like, you know, we won't talk necessary durations, but I've been climbing this hill, and I've reached the peak, and I'm like, you know, it's like, I don't, like, I'm in this bad place. And you had what we call a reframe. You reframed it for me the other day. And when I say a bad place, I'm like, I could find everything wrong with my life that day.
Yeah.
You know,
Which we
my family,
all do.
relationships, my health,
Right.
my business, where I live, like every aspect of my life. Not that I was even trying. It was just like bing, 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 bing. It was like,
Right.
I found something wrong with everything. And you're like, oh, you're on the cusp. Like, you know, that summit. I've hit the summit, and I'm just like,
You're
I'm there.
right
It's like,
there.
I've hit it.
Yeah.
And this is my resistance, my fears,
Yes.
if I'm moving into this place of, it's time to believe, it's time to do, time to be all that I am.
Without
And
all of those other masks of
right.
mom
Yeah.
and, you know, whatever your job title is, and friend. It's like stripping it all off,
Yeah.
shaking it, getting rid of it. You can't see my hands because they're
Yeah.
way out
Well,
here, but
I'm picturing, like, I don't know, like I take pillowcases and just straighten them out. I kind of like, you go, you know,
oh yeah, I
or
like that.
clothes, you know, I
Yeah.
can do it just, you know, give it a big shake, right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of whip it, whatever, I don't know what you call it. And this has been a powerful day, because when you were telling me that, it's like after this meditation that I did, and we said goodbye, and I got in the car, the time on my car said 11:11.
Which is so
and
cool.
and I'm like, and I didn't even know all of this was going on, right? And then as we
Right.
were talking, I was driving home, and I'm like, wait, we got to get on a live. Like, you got to share this with people, because this is powerful. And so as we were talking about more things, I looked down at my phone, and it said 1:11. Like, this stuff doesn't, it's not like I was checking the time every few minutes. You know, it was just, I think 40 minutes or so or more had gone by. And I'm like, oh, you know, I just, not even like I wonder what time it is. I look down and 1:11. I'm like, what else is going to happen today?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know, but it's all good, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
been like, what?
Yeah.
1 11 11 11. You have your beautiful meditation. We get into our conversation. We're so in sync, talking, and you're like telling me everything that I was telling myself this morning, which was this and here is what's creating the outer. And then when we get in sync, now we're creating more of that,
Yeah, in
which,
sync and in alignment. Like there's so many words. We sync up, we get in
yes,
alignment, we integrate. Yeah, one of the things that was really powerful. It was, well, as this is the day to manifest, and there's all of these energies happening with, you know, new moons and the equinox and the eclipse, and now we're right almost at a full moon. You know, it happens every two weeks, the full moon and new moon, and all of this. And then today, right in the middle of it all, just like the equinox was right in the middle of it all, and or no, the eclipse, sorry, the eclipse
eclipse.
was in the
Yeah,
middle of it all. You know, it's just all smashed together, and it's stirring all kinds of stuff up. So if you're like doing a woo, woo, you know, like in your emotions and your energy, and like I came off like a 6 week like really sort of intense, very driven. I'm doing this for myself. Like I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna do this, and and that's the away from. It's like no longer, because then what am I gonna do if I'm not doing those things? So it's like I've decided I'm gonna really focus on this project of mine, what I'm creating. And then and this is in the midst of all of this equinox and eclipse and new moons and full moons. It's like, what's going on? And all of a sudden it's almost like the brakes, you know, it's like, well, no, I've got stuff to still do. And then like, okay, well, I'll
right.
slow down. And it's like the brakes are pumping a little harder. And I'm like, but okay. And all of a sudden it's just like smash, you know, it's like, you're not going to do anything. I'm going to take away all your energy. I'm going to take away all your creativity. I'm going to take away everything unless you just take a rest.
Yeah.
And
And get
then
out of
from
that
there,
masculine energy so you can get back into the
right,
feminine and do the creating, right?
yeah,
Being stuck
instead of the
in
just, I
that.
was just doing, because then it's just doing, and I've already done all the doing for a long time. And being in the creative, boy, there's a lot of good juice there and good energy and creativity that comes up
And
being in the creating of the creativity. And you've
for
helped me to
sure.
remember that the masculine, like you're in your masculine, you're in your feminine. It's, and the
Yeah.
feminine is the receiving too. It's like,
Yes.
just get out of your own way. Okay, we have our thing. What, get over yourself. Okay,
Get over
there's a
yourself.
Facebook group that we we're going to
That's
start it.
right.
We're going to come back to it. But it's like there's a Facebook group called Get Over Yourself. And it's
Go
like when
join it.
we yeah, join it. And when you get out of your way, you know, I didn't know I was in my own way with everything, beliefs and being in my masculine, and I was in my own way. And it was just like, okay, I give up, right? It's like I surrender.
And then you pointed that out to me earlier when we were on in our conversation, saying, you know, you're too much. You were too much in your masculine, and not in that receiving mode of the feminine. And yeah, I really was. You know, I was like almost having a tantrum, like, rah, rah, rah. I don't like this and I don't like that, and I'm not happy with this and I'm not happy with that. And what the heck? This is not what I thought my life would be. And you're like, okay. You were feeding, you were like so in sync, like, well, you know, you are, that's your masculine energy. Get it done, get it done. What if, I love how we do
Yeah.
that for each other. The what if instead, that's like the perfect thing. And the thing is, we have to ask ourselves too, what if instead I stopped? What if instead I took care of me and I let go of all of those to dos and I have to get this done, and I have to be this, and I have to be productive. And I let go of that and stepped into my feminine. And for me, it's I find myself there in that frantic energy, that frantic masculine energy of all the different roles in my life and the things that I need to do. And I feel it, like I can start to feel it coming, and I can feel it building, and I'll keep pushing myself to keep going to the next step or doing the next thing, knocking it off my list kind of thing. But then I hit the point where I'm like, all right, stop. I have to stop. I have to take a walk. I have to meditate, which is more of what I've been doing this week, taking that, not just taking the step back and walking away from what I'm doing, which is really what your brain needs, by the way. You have to get up, you have to walk away, you have to leave your computer and your phone and your TV and all screens alone, and you have to focus on the now moment. But I've been going even deeper, and I've been stopping to meditate. And as I'm meditating, I've got my hands on my heart, and I'm breathing it into my heart. I'm trying to connect with my heart space. I'm imagining that my heart and my mind are connecting, and I'm focusing on the breath, and I'm giving myself permission to slow down with the breath. And then I'm doing the loving kindness meditation. And if you don't know what that is, loving kindness is finding that feeling, excuse me, the emotions tied to love, gratitude, peace, appreciation, the contentment that you experience, the satisfaction, the fulfillment, all of those things that fall under the umbrella of love. So any kind of loving energy, you you, you look for it, and it can be so small. That mustard seed analogy is so right on. I love that analogy. You find just the tiniest bit of that loving energy, you feel into it, and you start extending it out you can extend it out. This is the way I do it. I extend it out to one person at a time. I imagine that beautiful, unconditional, universal love is moving from my heart to each person. But you can also do it as in the way that I teach it at the end of my classes is take that and turn it, that loving energy, turn it into a wave, like a wave in the ocean. Extend it out, excuse me, to everybody in the room. Now extend it further out into the community. Extend it further out around the globe and into the universe at large. And once you've done that, you imagine that beautiful wave of loving energy coming back to you. And it's stronger, it's more powerful, it's fuel, it's everything you've already sent out coming back to you. There's the most peaceful, satisfying feeling that comes from that. You feel grounded, you feel centered, you feel connected to, the divine. And then when I get up from that meditation, I almost feel blissful. Well, I do feel blissful. Sometimes not totally blissful, but I'm just like, I don't feel the fear. And by fear, I mean, I don't feel the frantic energy. I don't feel worry. I don't feel pain. I'm just like, okay, thank you. I'm there. Now, how am I going to step forward into my life with this better energy? And there's
Just with that,
clarity.
right?
Right.
With
Right.
that
But I mean,
energy, because you've
right.
shifted it.
Right. But what do I want to do with it? Like, do I want to um, get back to ticking things off my list? Do I have a new inspiration where I'm like, oh, I know what to do now. This is what I need to do, right? It comes in, it literally is a wave. It's a wave. It's like, oh, how do I carry this forward? Not meaning, do I carry it forward? Definitely going to carry it forward, but how can I use it? So when I say that, it could be like getting back to the list, like I said, or maybe you've had a light bulb moment, or maybe I'm on a call with a client or even a friend and they're struggling with something, and this energy pours out of me and into my words and into my ability to be present with them and patient with them, empathetic, compassionate, and really um, give and help them to receive and shift their state of mind and their experience. You've had that, and I know you've had that because we've had calls where you've done that for me, where you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when we're in that cycle, whirlwind, whatever you want to call it, it's we're in that emotional energy of it.
Yeah.
And it blocks us from being able to see, like we're so in it, right? It's almost like we have tunnel vision. We're
So
so
in it.
in it. And
So
yeah,
in
and,
it.
and it's like we associate in, it's a term, we associate into it. And there's nothing else possible except this narrow perception that we have of what's already there, what we believe we can have or not have, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. And so when you just get over yourself and you,
Exactly.
okay, fine, I'm just, whatever you're thinking about, it could be your business, yourself, someone else, whatever it is, just, okay, yeah, this may be very likely true to some extent, or it's very true. But what's one little seed, like you said, you can find in it that you can focus on? Because
Right.
so two emotions can't exist at the same time. We can't love and hate at the same time.
Right.
So when we're in hate, we can't love. When we're in love, we can't hate. So why not shift it?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so mad. I'm so afraid. It's like, okay, what if I am so happy? What if I'm so grateful? What if I'm so loving life? What's one of the opposites? Something. And you find that one thing, especially about ourselves, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
what if we were to start there? Like, I keep messing up. I don't have this success I want. I don't have a relationship that somebody really gets me.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Kids, where I live, like, I live in a whatever place, just find something that you can, like, just that little sliver of light, because in all of this darkness, just find that one little piece of light, that little, I don't know, something to notice. So what we do is we have this narrow vision, very like isolated box, and then here's a box. Here, somebody gave me this little practice to do. It's like, whatever this thing that you have, right? Whatever that emotion that you have that's overpowering you, not
Yeah.
lifting you up, you have a box, right? You can
Yep.
make it whatever size you want, color, shape, whatever, and you put the thing in the box. So it could be
Yes.
a person, it can be a thought, it could be anything, right? You put it in the box, you shut the lid,
Yeah.
and you put it up on the shelf. And
Yeah.
you put it on the shelf. It's almost like it's there if you want to bring it down and open it up again, but just put it on the shelf for now and
Mm-hmm.
step back. Okay, and what is it? It's like, I was we were let's have some fun. So we were talking, I had my day the other day, just the other day. It's like every part of my life was shit, right? and, and worse. And I said, I'm not even happy about my body and these rolls around my stomach, and then the wingies under the arm, it's like, and then, I could find
Yeah.
everything, everything that I could think about this physical body, that could be wrong. And it's like, okay, what's one thing I could think about whatever. And it's like, oh, I guess I inherited my mother's kind of youthful cheekbones, right? Something, right?
Yeah.
and or I don't know what it was I picked. I picked something. It's like, okay, well, I'm thankful for this. So it immediately shift this self-loathing into just, a little 10%
Yeah.
of appreciation.
Yep.
I think it was even 5%, but it was enough that that the other thing couldn't exist, even in this 5% of just
Yeah.
appreciation. What do I appreciate? Okay, I'm appreciating maybe I had a horrible relationship from my mother. What could I appreciate? There's nothing I could appreciate about my relationship with my mother. Like, and that's not my mother, but I'm just saying, delete. It's because I'm deleting, I'm canceling that thought when I say that, because now I'm going to
Yeah.
replace it with a positive thought. It's like, okay, if there was something I could find about my mother, it's like, okay, oh, well, she gave birth to me. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So now it's not about my mom. And because there's nothing about my mom, supposedly, that because this relationship is bad, I can't see anything good about her. I'm going to put her in the box, put her
Right.
on the shelf.
Yes.
And then, so there's this, she gave birth to me. And it doesn't have to be anything other than that. It's just, she gave birth to me. Now
Right.
the new emotion exists. And gosh, there was just so much that came to mind when you were talking earlier. And yeah, what you bring to this world, to people's lives, whether you're coaching them, the friends that you're supporting, we all have those. We all have our friends that the friends. There are friends, and you help me to see this. There are friends that will come to us, or whoever's watching this, that will come to you because they know you're the person for them that will
X,
blank.
XYZ. Yep.
Believe in them, listen to them, validate, honor them.
Yep.
You know who to go to for whatever, some need that you have. You know the person to go to. And Kelly, Kelly is the person for many, many things that I go to. And
Right
there's
back
this
at you.
relationship. And then there's other friends of mine that I know I'll go to them for that. And
Right.
it's so powerful. It's one term is called our A team. And there's also if you picture like a basket, a beautiful basket, right? And you put your friends in the basket. And when I say friends, these are the people that show up for you when you're at your worst, when you're just like, I need an honest answer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does this lipstick look good on me? I'm really simplifying this, right? Does this lipstick look good on me? It's like, well, it's a nice color, but it looks crap on you. If you can say that, and you want that person in your life who's going to tell you,
Yeah.
like, what you can't see, what you don't know. So you
Yeah.
have this beautiful basket, and maybe it's one person, and that's all it takes. Maybe it's your pet, right? And your pet is that thing you grab a hold of, that you can have the most deepest vulnerable conversation with, and the dog will just listen. Yeah. And not try to get away, like you're too much, or okay, I've listened to you long enough, could you feed me now? No, like, this person or this dog needs nothing from you, wants
Right.
nothing from you. It's just, hey, I'm here for you.
Right.
And when you're talking about the wave, when you're
Yes.
sending out that love, it's like, you don't need like that person that you're sending love to, thank you, whatever, you don't need anything from them, like,
Right.
to feel more than whatever you are, because you are full, like, you're in this place
Yes.
of love. Again, find that little thing, that 5% you can send love to that person for, knowing that there's nothing you need back.
Exactly.
There's nothing that you don't need to do or be anyone. Just like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to send them this love, and I really hope that they'll eventually call me. It's been 20 years, but if I send them this little 5% of love,
It's been 20 years.
they'll finally call me. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Well, because when you're doing it, you're not doing it to get something back.
Yeah.
You're not, that's not why you do it. But it does come back.
Yeah.
And I think the most beautiful thing about it, literally, is that because, well, it's not a because, when you're going in and you're doing this heart-based meditation, this metta, loving kindness, it's coming coming from the heart. You're literally not doing it for any other reason than to extend that love. And every time you extend it to one person, to another person, and another person, then your heart becomes so much more full. And when your heart is that full, and believe me, I always feel like I'm a loving person anyway. Like I have like an abundance of love within me. I just feel like I have that all the time. Even when I'm having a tantrum like this morning. But your heart just becomes so full. There's no room for the fear, the doubt, the worry, the self-abuse, that negative self-talk. That's what I'm talking about when I say self-abuse. I'm not talking about mutilation or starving yourself or anything like that. I'm saying just that basic, I'm going to beat up on me, look what's wrong with me, and I'm just going to keep highlighting everything I see that's wrong with me in my life. There's no room for that because you're just so full of that love. And it's like a very beautiful place to be. And I would liken that love that you experience to that initial, oh my God, I didn't know I could love so much when you have your child. Like you're loving that baby the whole time you're carrying it. And whether it's your first or your second or your third or your 10th, doesn't matter. You're loving that baby before they're born. But when they come into that world, you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I could love so much. And I experienced that with my first son. And I remember somebody saying to me, aren't you afraid you don't have enough love for this new baby coming? And I was like, no, why? That didn't register with me. And then when he was,
okay, it caps out at whatever, you only have so much love and then it caps out, right?
right. And that's not what happened at all. It didn't cap out at all. It just, when I had my second son, it was like, oh my God, I can love this much more. And it was just there. And that's very similar to the experience of doing that loving kindness meditation, where you're like, wow, this is what's within me. And that's the part that we forget. And it isn't just because we get busy with our to-do list. It's because we're doing things like, and I'm not saying, oh, I lost Joyce.
Oh, no, I'm back.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
It's not just because we're busy doing things and taking things off our lists and distracting ourselves with TV or whatever your distraction is, shopping, it doesn't matter. It's
or avoiding.
Yeah, I like to avoid that word. Yeah. Oh God, avoidance is a whole different topic, isn't it?
Yeah. We had one comment. It's like, yeah, having a friend.
Oh, you can see the comments?
Something just popped up and I went to explore it.
I cannot.
Yeah, so there was
I looked to try to find.
I didn't see it. It's not that it's here. It's just something just popped up at one point, and yeah, it's like friends. About having friends, those true friends, and yeah, it's sometimes our friends get worried that we have other friends, and it's like, oh well, you're not going to love me. You're not going to want to be with me as much because now you have this other friend. So it's almost like we can't have multiple friends or resources of people that we can go to. It's it's like it doesn't I can have you, I can have this person, and I want that support for me, and if I could have more than one one person that believes in me and help me, it's there's no end to our love. It's just that
you're right,
our own belief in the capacity that we can only deserve one person. That wow, there's one person in the whole universe that there's probably no one else. Like it's like we limit ourselves to one person who's there for us.
We don't need to do that because everyone has their own gifts, talents, abilities, and one person may be able to be present with you in a specific situation and another person may not, as you had said before.
I think I'm manifesting like that's maybe some of the, like, going back to manifesting, that's almost like what we're manifesting. It's like we believe that, gosh, I've never really had a true friend, right? That I can show up in all my mess,
Mm.
make a mistake or whatever it is, and actually, like, and tell someone about it rather than hide it. It's we're manifesting more of the reality that we're living instead of a new reality. So what do we need to do, Kelly, to to
Well,
manifest a different reality?
well, partially, and this is what I was getting at, is that all the masks that we wear, right? Our jobs, our titles, our roles in our life, the way that we identify ourselves as we move through the world is in a way where we suppress who we really, really are. So we're not expressing that true expression of ourselves. That makes us feel like we have to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller in order to move through the world. And if we can understand that and and continue to remind ourselves that as we live from this place of loving energy, because everything is energy, it's all moving energy. I'm moving energy, you're moving energy. I know you know this. Your thoughts are energy, the chairs we're sitting on are energy, our phones are energy, everything is energy, right? If we're coming and living from that place of the loving energy, then things come into our lives more in flow, more in alignment, like we were saying earlier. And I truly believe that not just wearing the masks, but those masks that we put on come from the obviously old stories, false beliefs, patterns that we live by, which come from what we see out in the world, what is being projected to us, and staying engaged too much with the news or media, whether it's social media or any other type of media, comparing yourself to others. Um, those kinds of things are going to keep you separate from that whole of who you are.
Well, it keeps our attention and our focus out
Yes.
here, because to look like, it's almost like I'm going to put it all out there. But if I was to turn it and actually like see myself,
Yes.
or not, it will see myself for who I truly am, but see myself for how I'm showing up
Yeah.
and what's possible,
Right.
and we get into this spiral going down, down, down. So when we, again, put it in the box, put it on the shelf, and then just sit back and be with yourself. Like, do
Right.
you like who you're being? Oh my God. Like, and then there's all the things that are wrong with my life and with myself. It's like,
Which
turn
we
it.
can come up with an endless
Oh
list
yeah, of
of
course.
what's
And
wrong
you
with
can
my life, what's
also,
wrong with myself. That
and,
list just continues to grow. We
and
may
can't
bring
you
out
come
the
up
old
with a
stuff.
list? And can't you come up with a list of things that are great about yourself? Okay, that might be a
Right.
stretch, but can you come up with maybe even 10? Like if you're in that kind of way down
Yeah.
here instead of way up here, right? Okay, maybe you're somewhere in between. But if you're like kind of starting out here, just
Yeah.
find five things
Yes.
about yourself.
Yeah. It can
And
be three
if you're the
things. Even
higher kind of in you are to like up here,
yes.
get up to 50. I challenged a friend of mine. She was really struggling, and I saw her potential. And that's what you and I are great at is, yeah, but I don't know. And like, people that come to us, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my block is, and I don't know what this is. And so my friend, she is absolutely amazing. And she was in that real spiral down thing. And I'm like, okay, write out a list of 20 things you are good at. And she's like, 20 things. And I'm like, I'm like, I could probably come up with 20 things, right?
Right.
And I'm
Like
like,
that.
no, I want you to come. And I like, and because she was like, it was almost like, no, that's too many. Not that she didn't believe it, but it's like, okay, that's a lot. And I'm like, and I actually got her to 50. And when I got her up to 50, I knew I'd hit the max of her belief in herself. And that's what it takes. It's not like,
Um,
yeah, she could probably get to 20. And I'm like, okay, but something inside me just said, no, she needs to like keep,
Keep going.
not push, but she needs to really believe in herself. And this is so important that she believe in herself. So I gave her a couple days. And so I would check in with her. And so like she came up with the 20 pretty quick. Not, I wouldn't say pretty quick, but you know, it was a couple hours because I checked it. Hey, how you go? Okay, I got 20. But she's like, oh, you know, why 50? And so, and then I would check with her at the end of the day. She was at like 30. And I'm like, okay, it's 30. Okay. I'm like, no, 30 is not good enough because that's not all of who you are. And so it's so important for us to, in order to manifest what we really want, what we really are passionate about, the dreams that we want to bring to life, the job that, yeah, maybe you're really good at your job and you're earning a really nice paycheck, but it doesn't light your whole soul up. It doesn't get you out of bed. Well, you get out of bed because you need a paycheck and you got to go to work and you got to show up and look good, and you know, and you're doing what you're good at, but it's not what you're maybe proud of and you really like want to be known for. You get all the accolades and everything, but it's like, I just want to go out and do this. You know, I want to go out. I don't know, have a boat, sail a boat, and do excursions. Right?
Oh,
I don't know.
that sounds wonderful to me.
That's that. Yeah, I'm just
Doesn't
like
it?
that thing came. Maybe it's something I want to do unconsciously.
Oh, we should talk about that
So like,
later. Maybe we can
so
do
like,
that
you know,
together.
it's like my real heart would be in doing, like, maybe I don't do it for the rest of my life, but it's like I would just love to go and do that, right? Or something. But yet, what's stopping us from believing in ourselves to be able to do that thing? Maybe we've never done it before. Maybe we've been on some kind of boating event and got a taste. You know, we got, what do you call it? That thirst for
Yes.
something. And it's like, ooh, you know, when I learned Thai massage, Thai yoga body work, and I was already a yoga instructor, that first workshop I took, I'm like, oh my God, I have to learn how to do this. Not like I want to get more.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
literally,
it's
I
like,
get it
I
because
want
that's
to learn how to do this. And so I was already doing my thing, but it's like, I really want to learn how to do this. But it's like,
how I
you
felt
know,
about yoga. Like the first
yeah.
time I stepped on my mat, I had wanted to practice for years, didn't have the opportunity or the time, and it turned out that I needed to take some sort of PE credit in order to get to the next level in school. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do yoga. And I was like, finally, I get to do it. I had no preconceived notions other than the fact that it was stretching. That was all I knew. And wow, it totally changed my whole life. It was like, this is what I should have been doing my whole life. My whole life. Can't believe I went 40 plus years. I think it was 40 plus years without knowing, right? That this was such a big part of me that it just had a huge impact. So just like your Thai yoga massage, because shortly after that, I took a semester off to go to Yogashala and become a yoga teacher, which I did not intend on, which is funny. I just wanted to go deeper into the practice
Mm.
and learn more about it. And then once I was in Charlotte and I started teaching, it just felt so natural and just filled my heart, just standing there and guiding people. And it just was amazing. So I totally get what you're saying about the Thai massage.
And that's the
And
alignment. It's like
that's,
you take something you're passionate about, and maybe you're not good at it at first because you need to learn some skills, like become a yoga instructor to be an instructor or whatever. But you did it to go deeper.
yes,
And so we start by exploring something that, oh, I wonder what that's could be like. And all of a sudden you got the itch, right? The seed has been planted and you can't
exactly.
unplant the seed that wants to grow. And
That's
so,
so
but we go off to live
true.
we go off to live this other life, whatever it is, to have your family, to take care of someone else. Like, you know, some people have to take care of their parents. You get a job and you travel. So now you're doing that. So you don't find a partner because you're traveling, and, you know, so all these, but these seeds are getting planted along the way. you read an article, you watch a documentary, and you
boom.
discover, oh my gosh, and like that, it just gets tucked away because we're so focused, right? And it just gets tucked away, and it nibbles away, and it nibbles away,
Because
and eventually, there's got to be more to life. What do I do? And either that
exactly.
seed will start to blossom or start to sprout out, or we'll start like, what else can I do besides this thing that I'm doing? That's not my thing. It's someone else's thing that I'm supporting. What's this thing of mine that I want to finish my years with? You know, as we get older and older, it's like we start looking at our lives and, is this my life, right? Maybe, yeah, I wanted to
You're
raise my
right.
family, and now
Yeah.
it's like my family, my girls or kids are growing, they don't need me. Well, what's next, right? Like,
Or
I want to
there's some
finish the
sort of
next 30 years, 20 years doing something that really matters to me.
something that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about too is we're so busy again with those masks, which are just the roles that we're playing,
Yeah.
and denying ourselves over and over and over. And no offense to any men who are watching, but that is pretty much how we are programmed as women, to put ourselves last and make sure we're fulfilling everybody else's needs first. And then we don't explore those things that you're talking about, those seeds. And so then we never do see it sprout because we're, we're not listening to our own inner guidance, or we're in a
We don't
relationship.
allow ourselves to even think it's possible, or yeah, we don't let ourselves go to the extent that this can be a possibility for myself.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
also, if I there's also the part of, well, if I make that change, and it is going to be change, right?
Shift. Yeah.
Then I have to give something up. And it could be something as simple as, well, then that would mean that things would change in my relationship, and I don't think my partner is willing to go along with that. And then that would lead to divorce, and then I would lose my home, and I love my home, and then I would not have this, and you have to give things up. Or it could mean that this is not the job for you. Um, but you need the money, and you're like, well, how am I going to replace that money? It's
It's all
gonna
the what ifs.
Right.
How am I going to do this? This will happen if I do this. I
Something.
can't do this because then this, so it's all of these things.
Hi, Darlene. Finally something popped up on my screen.
All
Hi,
right.
Darlene.
So yeah, I know that we've had a 2 hour conversation on, like, just like, hey, how you doing? And next thing you, like, 2 hours has gone by,
Right.
and we've just covered a gamut of topics and everything. And so of course we could
I
we could keep going.
know.
But today is a very, very special day. So for those, like, what is this 111 thing? It's like, look up the spiritual meaning or something. You can Google it. I've looked up spiritual meaning of the number 111, the whatever metaphysics. What is
Angel number
what
111.
angel number? Yeah, angel number is 111. And yeah, just have some fun when playing with that. But we're in a very powerful time of releasing, letting go, getting over ourselves so that we can
Yes.
manifest, we can
Thank you for reminding me.
nurture and cultivate that seed so it can
Yes.
sprout out
Yes.
and grow.
Yes.
And then, maybe, this, how a seed leans to the sun. It's like, you know, lean into the sun like a sunflower. The sunflower will actually turn to face the sun. So that if you're resisting, you may be the backside of the sunflower facing the sun. It's like, no, I'm going to go this way. And the sun is like, hey, I'm over here. Face the sun and go with the momentum rather than, no, I'm going to do it my way. I've
Yes.
sprouted. Now I'm going to go off and go do it my way. Right. So
Right.
manifest from a new possibility and that overcome
Pause,
the resistance so that you can become.
pause for just a second. So, Darlene, I can't remember if it's Uranus Jupiter conjunction or not. However, today is 4
Uranus.
2024, And when you turn it around, it's still for 2024. So it's a palindrome. And it is the 111th day of the year. And there are some planetary things going on. So it may be Uranus, Jupiter conjunct, I'm not sure. And the energy that we want to bring ourselves into today is, uh-oh.
Oh, you're back, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay. The energy of today is a powerful manifestation day. And the things that you want to keep in mind, which I may have mentioned at the beginning, but I'm not sure if I did, are that in this energy, you've already done a lot of shadow work. And I know you know what shadow work is, Darlene. And so you've done all this work on yourself, and you're in a space now where you need to let go of the working and move into using your energy to create and to manifest. And so that was what initially inspired this conversation between Joyce and I. My head is going to move out of the frame for just a minute. So Joyce, I'm going to let you keep talking. I have to plug my phone in real quick because it just gave me the message that it's going to die.
I really have not studied the planets. Like, there is Uranus and Jupiter going on right now, and it's all, getting in alignment. And then even I think Taurus is in there. I follow somebody else on Instagram, and that's the only reason why I know about this. And it's like shifting the energies. I'm just, it's not fresh in my mind from a week ago when about a week ago when I listened to her. And so, but yeah, there's this really big shift. It's like, let's become the version of ourselves that is powerful. And not talking about like, being our mask and powerful. It's like this, how we show up is who we really are naturally. These are our gifts that we've been blessed with, that maybe have been pushed aside for whatever reason. You're too much, or maybe we doubted ourselves that we could get it right. If I really show up as myself, I need to be perfect. I need to make sure that others are okay with me. But just do it in baby steps.
Which is so funny because when you're talking about perfect, when you said, let's do a live, just a spur of the moment live, I was like, oh my God, I literally jumped in the shower, jumped out of the shower, dried my hair, threw some makeup on and ran out the door. And I'm like, I look like crap this morning. And then I thought, I don't have to be perfect. I'm not gonna stress. It doesn't matter what I look like.
Well, you look pretty good. I'm down in Austin, Texas with the humidity, and I can't get rid of this fuzz.
You can't get rid of the fuzz, and I definitely need a haircut. And so my hair is like sticking to my head.
And like again, manifesting, it's like, I can't do this because I don't have the right clothes on. My hair isn't done. I don't know what exactly to say.
Exactly.
It's like the best time to do something outside of your comfort zone is now.
I was just going to
say now because that's where you're going to get the biggest shift in the growth, because you get over yourself really quick. Yes. Because it's like, I don't have my cheat sheets over here, and I need to, go curl. I got to put some curls in my hair. Oh, I don't have lipstick on. Oh my God, I don't have lipstick on. Like, look at all, it's like, I haven't made the announcement on social media that I'm going live today. Whatever it is, it's like we have all of these conditions, who we have to be and how we have to show up. Again, getting into the what ifs, the how to's. How do I have to do this? How does it have to look? And and when I said that, because you were saying so many powerful things, and I'm like, we need to go live. And immediate thought was like, I wonder if she's got an excuse. What excuse does she have? Little did I know that she was I was driving, so I couldn't jump in the shower and fix all myself. And I probably would have a little bit. At least I didn't have time to put lipstick on. Well, if I knew I had time to put lipstick on, I probably would have, but I didn't think I had time to put lipstick on, so I didn't. And you show up. This is what's called being authentic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to be
And
genuine, you want to be authentic, because as soon as you crush your own authenticity, then you end up not liking yourself, and that starts to pour into every single aspect of your life.
so it's not about how you look. It's like being authentic.
Right.
What like I said, Kelly had the most profound things to say, like on our call, just driving home from my meditation. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to go and like do something with this, not just between us little, like in our box, right? We need to go out and share this, and not pre-planned or anything. It's just, you show up as you are with this passion, like, because I was passionate about what you were telling me, and I'm like, oh, we need to like it's not like, let's just keep this in mind and schedule it for tomorrow at 9:00.
Right.
It's
because
like, no,
we were totally like in sync and in the flow. And it was like all of these boom, boom, booms, things that we needed to remind each other of. And so when you said, okay, let's go live, and I said, yes, I'm sure it surprised you a little bit, because I didn't hesitate.
right? Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. I
you know what?
was waiting, because
This
it's like,
this
it's
is
really
good.
on impromptu,
This is
and
good
that's what this is
stuff.
about.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Just show up.
You're at a networking event, you're at a family function, and it's like, I really would like to be able to share this with these people, but God, like, what are they going to think of me? And I haven't practiced all the exact way I want to say it. It's just, get over yourself and just let it flow. Be in the love, for yourself, the love for the other person. And when you need nothing from them, you expect nothing from them, you expect nothing from yourself, and you need to be a certain person or a certain way, it's going to be the most powerful moment. And even if you just say a few words.
And the most beautiful way to move through your life.
Yeah.
Because you're not looking for that approval, and you're not wearing a mask, and you are living from that authenticity. Yeah. And when you're living from that authenticity, you don't feel the pressure of having all of your ducks in a row. You know that you can move from one moment to the next, one challenge to the next. You know you can do it. You just know. So there's that, as I was saying earlier, that sense of peace and well-being, right?
Yeah.
And you're not caught up in trying to present a specific image. You're just doing you. When you do that, you love yourself even more. And when you love yourself even more, then it shows in everything that you do, and it shows up in everything that you do. Even something as simple as, one of my favorite examples of all time, and I use it all the time when I teach, kindness, right? Witnessing one simple act of kindness, not even being a part of it, changes your whole perspective on things, changes your mood, just like that. And then you go out and you affect 2 more lives, and they go out and they affect 2 more lives individually, right? And then those people go out and affect 2 more lives.
It's a multiplier effect.
Yeah. And you start to love yourself even more, and you appreciate yourself even more. And you have, and there's a function in the brain. I don't want to really get into the brain, but there is a function in the brain that when you do something that's out of your comfort zone, when you do something that has been a challenge or is challenging for you, or you reach a goal of some sort, it clicks something in your brain. And like I said, I don't really want to get into all of that, but you are reinforcing that part of the brain, so that now your brain is going to start looking for more of that too.
Oh, reticular activation system.
Right.
RAS.
Yeah. And there's also a dopamine rush too, but a natural one, where this is what we need. And this is why I wanted to do what the coaching and the yoga, is because nobody tells you, hey, there's a better way to get a dopamine rush than jumping off of a mountain with a parachute, for instance. You know, there's a better way to do it. Wow, just setting a goal and reaching it, just honoring yourself. And I'm simplifying things a little bit, but it's true. Just setting a goal, reaching that goal, and it could be your goal is to just honor yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, live authentically, be your genuine self. When you do that, woo, your
You're
brain is
loving
going,
yourself when you
yeah.
do all those things.
And then
That's called loving
and
yourself.
your brain reacts.
Yeah.
Well, then now you've got the positive chemicals in the brain and in the body, and it's like, wow, I wish, and I'm being silly, but not silly. Wish they would have taught me that when I was growing up. Like I wish they
Mm.
would have known that to teach little kids. Like, hey, did you know that rather than beating up on Billy, if you just did something positive for yourself, here are some things you can do. You're going to feel good, right? Not that I ever beat up on Billy, by the way. That was not me. I, I was not that person.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Make mud cakes in the backyard and offer your friend one. Here, look what I made for you, a mud cake.
yeah,
Oh, I'm just
yeah.
thinking like we have so many, well, we keep, yeah, we keep weaving in the manifestation and mass and so many other concepts here, like in this wonderful exchange. If you've made it to this point in our sharing and whatnot, thank you for, you know, whether you're watching this like on a replay kind of thing or you're here with us.
Can you
Yeah, you
imagine?
know,
Can you imagine someone
and
watching
we
the whole replay?
well, you know, maybe we're just so magnetic. People just wanted to stay with us. So if you've made it, maybe you fast forwarded towards the end. And I would love, and we, you know, we both would love to know like what parts really stood out for you. It's like what like little nuggets, what seeds were planted, like were you actually like maybe you're doing something else and all of a sudden what was that? We would love to know what those parts were, and if something, yeah, and what parts maybe you want us to expand
We have
on.
another message.
um, oh
Hey,
yay, so what
Ricky.
you know, what do you want us to expand on? Because we have only just touched the surface, even though we've been here a while.
Still,
There,
yeah.
you know, we both know how to take this to a much deeper place because that's what we do with our clients. That's what we do as that's because that's what we're passionate about. That's what we're good at, and that's how we can show up here authentic, being confident. Is because we believe in ourselves. We have each other to bounce off of, and that is the most, like, that's one of the most important parts. Is I have Kelly to bounce this off, and we just flow like that river, you know. And so share. I'm going to be posting this on my
Oh,
Facebook page.
we got
It's
another
Joy.
comment.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks,
I'm.
Christine.
It's like, who is this person Kelly's talking to? So I'm Joyce Ayers. If you go to her friends, in her friends, probably you can find me, and then you can friend me, and I'll friend you back. And so I'll post this there for my people. And we've been talking a lot about this other Facebook group that we have called Get Over Yourself. So we'll post it there as well. And we're building a community, and that's a community where be vulnerable.
Yeah,
Show us who you are.
be
Let
who
us
you
be
are.
that. But let us be that place for you. We talked about the team, the container, the A team, that you can show up in all of your mess or your power, your boldness,
Right.
and just we're going to love on you, because we've had that for us. That's helped us.
I was just gonna say that. So Joyce and I met at a point where my life had just blown up into a million pieces. So I was a total mess, total mess. And very fortunately, we were going through some coaching training together, and we were paired up together. And so we began our friendship, not as a friendship, but as coaching partners. So there were no filters. It was like I had no filter anyway at that time. I didn't. My life was just like complete chaos, and I was just, it was in a million pieces. And then Joyce was going through her stuff.
My
And
stuff was that instead of having no filters, I had every filter possible. You can't say that. You can't let them see you be this way.
right,
You have like all of these, whatever. Like, so I had a complete opposite that I needed to come out
right,
of this mask that I was wearing.
right. And so we still have this thing where there are no filters today.
As you can
She is
tell.
like, she's taken hers and thrown them away. And I honestly, if you were to ask my parents, they would probably tell you I never had a filter to begin with, now that I think about it. Because they always used to tell me, you need to have more tact. And I was like, I just want to like be real all the time, even as a child, they would say that. So, but my point is that we both, since then, how many years ago was that?
It's been
10?
10. I think it was 2014,
Yeah,
2013, maybe even.
yeah, I think you're right, though. I think it was 2014, because 2013 is when I got my divorce. So it was the next, like January or something like that, wasn't it? Or was it in the fall?
I was thinking it was the beginning of the year. So we're like
Okay.
at the beginning of the year. So this could have been like, yeah.
Right. So 10 years, we have
Yeah.
both seen each other go through so much growth, so much growth, and share with each other all kinds of different tools and techniques. And I would say practice on each other, but I don't feel like it has been a practice at all. I think it's been supporting one another. And we want to bring that same kind of support out into the Get Over Yourself community. We want to bring it out, not just in that community, though. We want to extend it out even further. We want people to actually be able to empower themselves the way that we have empowered ourselves. And if we look back, and I'm sure Joyce would agree with me on this, and I'm sorry I keep moving, but I have this new office chair and it keeps tipping back. So if you keep seeing me moving, it's because
So if we see your feet fly up,
I'm like I hope I don't fall over. Being that when we come together in community, when we are that raw, open, vulnerable self, we thrive. And I've said that before in the Self-Empowered Woman. I cannot say it enough. I cannot underscore it enough. That the only way to really truly become and be authentic and genuine in every way, losing those masks.
oh, you're on mute. You're okay. There you go.
Am I not
All right.
now?
You're good.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Is to allow yourself to be that raw, open, vulnerable person. And in that vulnerability, you gain so much personal power, so much strength, so much forward motion. I want to add a little caveat to that. There are some people that are not going to get it. And there are some people that you may want to share that with, and maybe you do share that with, that are not able to receive it. We want to create that community where you get that. There's something about being seen, being heard, being understood, valued, appreciated. We all need that. And
That person that you can say, I messed up. I want this.
without
dare to
judgment.
dream big. And the other person just says, thank you for sharing that. Like, is there anyone in your life where you can be so vulnerable that the only words that come out of the other person's mouth is thank you?
Thank you.
And
I love
and
you.
live it.
No matter
and
what.
then you finally get a play. And this happens for us. It's like, yeah, but what else? Like, is that okay? Was that okay to share? Is that dream too outrageous? Like all the things that we're waiting for the other person to say because we've been conditioned to be judged, to like be validated.
To
Yes,
be small.
I
To be
approve
small.
of what you just said, or if you had done this differently, everyone always has something to say about when we share, but when somebody can just say thank you,
Yeah.
and support, and we obviously do more than just say thank you as coaches. We help you to live that
And
dream.
get over
We
yourself.
and get over yourself, and to get over the belief that you have about yourself by showing you what we call blind spots. So that's what the Get Over Yourself Facebook page is for. If you're still here or whatever, and actually we'll put it in the comments as
Yeah,
well, so
I'll
people can find it.
put it in the
It's
comment
like,
section.
go and join the group. Go check us out. If you don't have a community that you can really be real and raw, then check it out until you maybe get bold enough or the courage enough to write a little comment, maybe. And yeah,
And you,
as you're watching all of this here, we're also going to have more dialogue together in the Get Over Yourself community. So again, we want to know, what is it that you need support with? What is your block? Where are you at on your journey? Are you living other people's lives, their dreams, and you want to live your own life and dream? Maybe you want to, what am I passionate about? Or I am passionate about this, but I don't know what to do. Like, I don't like believe in myself enough
or
or
maybe I
something.
don't have a passion. Why don't I
Yeah.
have a passion? Well, you
Yeah.
do. You just don't allow yourself to express it. You don't allow
Yeah.
yourself to acknowledge it.
Right. So
And
that's what we're about.
don't forget the power, the amplified power of being able to create and manifest today. So remember that dark shadow that we do, the shadow work and the dark shadow within us, however you want to view it. You've been doing a lot of work on yourself in a myriad of different ways, whether you know it or not, whether it was intentional or not. And now you need to let go of, where do I need to change? What do I need to work on? What aspect of me needs to be, improved? Let it go, at least for the next 48 hours. Let that go. Stop saying making that list of this is what's wrong with me in my life, which is what we started talking about in the beginning. And literally move into that heart. I'm telling you, if you will just try it, trust me, feel into the smallest amount of love, gratitude, appreciation, contentment, satisfaction, and then start extending love out. If you want to do it in the form of a wave, like the ocean, if you want to extend it to one person at a time, like I was talking about earlier, when you are done, your heart is going to be so full. And then sit down, grab a pen and paper or a pencil and paper. I actually prefer pencil because it's just a natural element. And you just start writing the story of your life. What is the future you that you're bringing in this auspicious occasion of for 2024 and the 111th day of the year? In any case, I do have to sign off. Joyce,
Yep. And
thank
there's
you.
and if you want to know how to do that exercise in a deeper way, like that journaling of who you're becoming, there's a lot of other prompts. Just type it in. Just like I want the prompts for this becoming exercise, journaling exercise from a place of love. So wonderful to be here with whoever is with us right now,
Thank you,
and who's going to be
Christine.
watching
Thank
the
you, Ricky.
replay on
Thank you,
my
darling.
page.
Yes.
And you can follow me at Joyce Ayers. Just look for someone with white hair in the little circle.
I love it.
And thank you, Kelly, for prompting me today on this very special, powerful energy day, and for doing this.
It
Love
was
always
fun.
being with you, and yeah, we always have fun. Whether we're just us, but we have more fun when we're with you. and
That is
you're
true.
sharing in comments and how we can support you. We really do want to know. What support are you not getting right now in your life, your business, whatever, your health, relationships, careers, ambitions? that we can talk about with you that would be helpful in some way. So thank you, Kelly. Thanks for creating this, and everyone here. Have a great Sunday.
Yes, and a great Saturday. Peace out,
Oh,
y'all.
I'm a
It's
day
still
ahead.
Saturday. Slow
Okay.
down. Slow
Okay.
down.
If we can edit this tape. Okay. So have a great Saturday, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for joining
Bye.
us.